You'll be arriving at Floor 26 soon. Before that, I'd ask you to please check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Floor 26 Podcast. If you have any questions about the show, you can hit us up there or go to our website at floor26podcast.com. Thank you for listening. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Floor 26 Podcast, the show made by young people for everybody. My name is Adam Duffy, and I'm joined by my co-host, Parsa Pahlevankhah.
What up?
And over the call, once again, we have Jack Casey.
What's going on? How are you guys?
You like how I spelled your name, Jack? Smacey?
Dude, yeah.
Jack Smacey.
Anyways, how are you guys doing?
What, the audience? I hope they're doing well.
I mean,
how are we doing?
Yeah,
How are we
I'm talking to you guys.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know. It was
What's
just
wrong with you guys?
Oh, you were looking down at
No,
the
I
table.
thought- I mean,
I
yeah.
looked dead at you.
I'm sorry, I'm bad.
I can't see you, so I assumed you were talking to either the audience or Adam, and I was just gonna let Adam take it. But yeah, I'm doing great. I am not much has changed. It's been pretty rainy here in Athens, but I'm still sitting in my dorm over a call on a podcast.
With
so
no
life is
bathroom.
good. With no bathroom. Yes. Hey, I got a bathroom like 2 doors down. It's always clean. It smells good. Okay. I showered there. Chillax. It's a good bathroom.
Anyways.
So, yeah, this week we are unfortunately without a TJ. He was unable to make it this week, but he'll be back episode 6, big and strong. But today, I guess we wanted to talk about something that
We've been meaning to talk about for a long time.
I mean, I've been mentioning it in like every episode, but never touching on it.
Like we're gonna talk about it. We never get to it.
It's like
we were gonna do this as our first episode, and we kind of did, but
we
not
kind of
really.
were. We were for a second, but then we steered it away from something. But what we wanted to talk about today was we wanted to finally touch on sort of the ideological subject of why the three of us here wanted to start a podcast. You know, why we think it's important and why why we want to do it. And furthermore, we also wanted to talk about the process we went through to create this podcast, and the whole timeline starting months ago, and then just running through that. So. I guess. Yeah, Parsa, you start. You start.
Because so I was originally going to go to Georgia Southern University, and I wanted to start a podcast there with my buddy. But things changed. I was like, I don't want to go to Georgia Southern anymore. I still want a podcast, though. So I hit up Adam. Me and Adam go way back. And we have the same interest in this audio and, like, just producing content.
Yeah.
We both have the same interest, and I was like, Adam, what do you think about starting a podcast? And then I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was it was I think April of this year, and we were I guess still sort of winding down school, what they were trying to throw at us while we went into lockdown. And I guess I had this was during like the early months of the virus, where not a whole lot was known, and there was a lot of things being thrown around, and so it was something I noticed looking around me was that like it seemed like a lot of people didn't know, like, one, what was going on, or two, like where to find like credible sources of information or sources of information that like not only are credible but are also
Transparent,
yeah,
relatable.
Yeah, easy to digest, not like not short form, or not
Unbiased. I want to
yeah,
it's a bunch of us just talking about it, trying to find the most reliable source about it, and just talk about it.
And that's the most important thing, is I think talking about it. I think a lot of times when we sort of try to send out our beliefs over short form, like text written on something, that tends to sully a lot of the message. And so I that's why I always thought that things like podcasting and a lot of YouTube radio shows, not like mainstream media ones, were always a lot better sources of information because of that reason. And so when one day I received a text from Parsa, and it's just, blatant Parsa.
Just straight up, do you want to start a
He just says,
podcast?
do you want to start a podcast? Like, literally, like, I mean, in the weeks coming to that, I was like, should I start a podcast? Or like, should I like, try to do something like this? And so I saw that, and I was like, wow, this is this is an opportunity. And so I was like, hell yeah, I want to start a podcast.
And I remember pretty much the first night that me and Adam like met up together, and we talked about it like in person, like not over text. I came over to his house, and then I don't know how even Jack got brought up. I think we were light shopping. We were shopping for light boxes and stuff, and we were like, Jack has good
That was it, actually.
That was.
We were thinking, because we originally were going to host the podcast in a room in Parsa's home.
Right.
And we were thinking, like, what's the best way to light a set? Because we always had the idea to not be just an audio form podcast, to also video
we
it.
wanted to do a video because, that's
Everybody likes video podcasts.
Who just wants to listen to when you can watch us?
And so we were thinking, and so like, when it comes to like, technical side of like lighting studios and like setting up equipment, like of our sort of group of people who like to, make content and all this in this area, we look to Jack because, through our experience in high school, he's always been the one that's been most well versed in that. So we looked to Jack and we said we should bring him into this.
That didn't go.
Or
like
we should.
Parsa,
we
do
called
not
him.
throw me under the bus.
I am
Every
throwing you
single
big
ti-
under the bus.
No,
Listen, I'm LeBron. He's D Wade. You're Bosh.
I'm Chris Bosh. Dude,
Yeah.
listen.
Damn,
Every
cold.
single project we worked on in high school, if me and Parsa were in the same project, Parsa would be like, I don't know. I mean, Jack's on it, so.
He would
He
say
would
that a lot.
always give me something. It was just like, Parsa, listen. There's a reason Adam thought of you. Both thought of me. Nah, Adam thought of me, but Parsa also thought of me. That's all I'm
We
gonna say.
didn't even want you in it. Okay,
Oh,
let's
really?
not get.
That's
Let's
so
not.
crazy.
Okay.
That's so
Anyways,
crazy.
we called Jack. We were like, you got any recommendation? He's like, why? And then we tell him to come over. He lives down the street.
Yeah, we did.
He like, did you walk or drive?
I drove.
Oh, what a weirdo.
It's like,
Okay.
it's weird because it's like kind of far. It's like half a mile.
It's not far. Anyways, so Jack comes and we tell him that we wanted to start a podcast. And Jack, what was your reaction?
No. This is how. Well, that's how it went. But
Simplified.
the way it worked was you called me like over the phone, and I picked up on my Apple Watch because I remember you going, "Did you just pick up on your Apple Watch?" Because there was no. I don't remember how you knew, but I did. I answered the call on my watch, and you were like, "Come down here. We want to do something." And you guys didn't tell me anything. And you said you like asked me for recommendations. I kept asking what it was for. I don't remember that ever happening.
I remember that.
Did that happen?
You remember that?
I remember. I do remember actually that our
Yeah.
first step was to just ask him, like,
What
Jack,
do you think?
like, what do we ask him, like, for equipment
No,
recommendations?
because he kept asking about why we're asking him this. And I was like, screw
No,
it.
that never happened.
What?
No.
Dude,
Y'all are
no.
tripping.
We should have
listen,
pulled up
I
the
have-
text
no.
logs.
I have 20/20
Look.
memory. Okay?
Yeah, haha. Very
Like,
funny.
I see
Listen,
it clear.
this is how it went. You call me. I answer on my watch. You're like, "Hey, are you home?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, come to Adam's house." You didn't tell me why. I was just like, "Okay, whatever." I was actually, it's really weird. I remember this very well. I was driving over and was like, "Why didn't he tell me what they needed me for?" So I come over. You sit me down in front of Adam's like family computer, and all you said was, "Hey, we want to start a podcast." I was like, "Sweet." And then you started asking me about tech stuff. You asked me about equipment. It was
Why did I
after
treat you
told
so
me.
well? I feel like
You're such a
I
dick.
feel like
What do you
it's very
mean?
I
uncharacteristic.
feel like 3-4 months ago, Parsa would have been a lot more of a douche about it.
Yeah, but that's how it went. You said you were doing a podcast, and then you asked me about tech.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Okay, I the details on that are a little iffy, but I do
Whatever.
think Jack might be closer to the truth. I thought that was a
you
bug.
calling me a liar?
I'm not calling you a
I
liar.
promise you
I'm
went how
not
it went.
calling you a liar.
How's
Parsa.
that living in the desert, big
Parsa,
boy?
Parsa, you don't lie to people. You never
don't
lied to
lie.
me.
I'm saying this because I truly believe in like how it went. I feel like that's exactly how it went.
I understand. But moving on, our next step. I got to work looking at equipment and like basic equipment, like everything you see right now. And I mean, my first step was literally
He just ordered it.
well,
Everything.
my first step was I just looked up what does Joe Rogan use on his podcast, and it was there was a whole blog post about everything he uses, like like every single mixer and every single, even the chairs that he wears, which were like $2,000 chairs, by the way. They're like these ergomatic, if that's the word, like back, like support chairs. It's crazy. And I was looking at all this, and I compiled the list, and I sent it to Parsa. And then Parsa, he like, I remember him saying, like, he's like, I was talking about like the mixer and stuff and like all these different like boxes we had to get to set up. And he was like, no.
Roadcaster Pro.
Roadcaster Pro.
Because
2 words, Roadcaster Pro.
Because I remember when I was looking into it, like before I even got Adam into it, I was looking at it, and there was this like other box that was like I want to say around 200, 300. But then I saw the Roadcaster, man. I saw everything it did. I saw how it looked, and I saw it was all in one for like slight 600. How much was it?
600.
600. I was like, Adam, we got to get this. This is mandatory.
Uh-huh.
And Adam looked into it too, and he was like, hell yeah. Like, it just makes life a lot easier. And since, like, audio isn't our
forte?
It's not our forte. It's more video, and that's why we're doing a video podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, this just simplifies everything. As like a lot of good options, user-friendly. We're getting this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe Jack can relate to this, but when I was first going into it, we both worked on our school's morning news show, which I mean, it was pretty much the exact simulation of like an actual news show. It had a big board of all these different buttons, and I thought like we just recreate that here as a podcast. So that's what I imagined going into it.
Don't like half of those knobs not get used?
Like 90%.
That's the whole point. Like
way more than half. Like we use maybe 4 of those buttons on the entire board.
Exactly.
For the entire show.
We pretty much use everything on this. And if we don't, like, we don't have it set up or we don't need it right now. But one day, it will come in handy.
Yeah, this was awesome. Like when I was looking at the demo videos, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is sick.
And then basically Adam got all the equipment and we lost Jack.
Oh, we lost him? Like he's disconnected?
We lost that man. Anyways, I'm sure he'll join back in a second.
All right, yeah, keep up with that. I guess I can explain maybe how I got all the equipment, because that's an interesting story. Basically boils down to insurance fraud, right? Uh-huh. Should I run through the whole story? Basically real quick.
Basic rundown.
Got into a really bad car accident when I was 6 years old. Got ejected out of a car, brain splatter across the highway, real bad stuff.
Jack?
In the aftermath of that.
Hey.
There we go.
We're back.
Okay.
All right, Jack, you didn't miss much. I'm just retelling the story of how we afforded all this equipment.
Okay.
So basically, a lot of hospital stays, a lot of therapy after the fact, a little bit of trauma,
PTSD.
It affected my behavior for like a year afterwards. I was like this like really temperamental, angry kid afterwards. Like I had this really short fuse. I kept breaking stuff at our home. But besides that, like through some legal thing of like my mom with our insurance company, I got a settlement that would provide for like therapy for me for the rest of my life if I needed to, if I needed like physical therapy or like behavioral therapy for the rest of my life, that my mom could use like throughout my life, but any that she did not use would be given to me upon my 18th birthday. And as soon as my mom got it, I think there were some things that she probably should have done with it, like get a bank account, whatnot. She forgot about it. And it sat in our house, like that paper check. It sat in our house for 11 years. It sat in our house for 11 years, just moving house to house to house. I think it went through 4 different moves of houses.
How'd you guys not lose it?
I don't know. It was in like a crate of like important documents that just kept with all of us. And so I was like 17 years old. I was like, Mom, what is this? And she's like, and she, lays it all out to me. And I'm like, well, what do we do now? Because like, is there like a statute of limitations on this thing? Like, how long does it last? And so what I do is actually like she, I think she told me that like she's tried finding like the lawyer that she worked with to get it and like unable to find him. And so I'm looking him up like on Google, pretty simple stuff. She was amazed by it, but I looked it up. I just looked up his name and I looked up Salt Lake City, Utah, attorney at law, and then his name, whatever it was. And I find that, he stopped practicing law in 2014 and he's like now retired and he runs like a nonprofit organization. So I literally I get his address because his home address was listed as his business address from his nonprofit, I think, from his little organization. And so I get a paper letter and I type it up and I send it to that address and I just say, hey, I'm the kid that you were in court with 11 yees ago. I don't know what to do with this money. And so he writes back like a week later. Like I get his letter back and it says, I put my mom's phone number and he called my mom. And apparently, I won't get into all the specifics, but eventually I was able to get all of the money that was given to me at that age. And that was pretty exciting. Like I had to talk with my parents about like how to use it and like important things to consider. And
then the podcast came
and
along.
I was like,
and then we got some mics, baby.
and it was like, wow, I could use this to get a car, or honestly, like if I like use it wisely, I could really just like set myself up for the rest of my life. And then I got that text,
and it was like,
and then Parsa was like, do you want to start a podcast? And I was like, you know what? I don't need to be set up for the rest of life.
Yeah, and then when y'all called me over and we were looking at stuff on Adam's computer, Adam was like, oh, we're thinking about these mics. And I was like, oh, yeah, those are really good. And he was like, okay. And he ordered 4 of them right there. No hesitation. He didn't even, we were like, me and Parsa were like, whoa, slow down. Whoa, chill out.
Let's calm down,
I lost a
cowboy.
little bit of control. But
you instantly ordered everything. I walked in the door and you just pressed complete. I was like, what the hell is happening?
That was pretty fun. Okay. We'll stop talking about that. Basically, that's how we got all the equipment. Pretty much directly out of pocket.
But that was the least of our problems for the most part.
Definitely was the least of our problems.
The biggest problem of all was finding a goddamn name.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
building
God,
up to that,
dude.
Right.
We could not. We had a name.
We had a perfect one.
We loved that name.
Oh,
Should we explain like the reasoning behind our first name?
Yes.
All right, Jack. You can take it away.
Yeah, Jack, take it away.
okay. Yes.
Wait, actually,
So
I'll take it
our-
away. I'll take it
no,
away. Because
Parsa,
Jack's going to
Parsa.
tell some BS story, and I know the true story.
Well,
I'm gonna,
Jack,
BS,
you go.
what
Jack,
do you mean?
Jack, please explain it first, and then Parsa can correct
Parsa,
you.
I'll
I
keep
guess.
it light so I don't interrupt your part of the story, even though there isn't one. Whatever. Our original name was going to be Room 9. And
Just simple.
originally, we weren't going to say why it was called Room 9. It was a mainly Parsa and Adam, but also me, Parsa and Adam type thing. See how I threw that in for you, Parsa? Room 9 is based off of our high school video class, which all 3 of us took, at least 5 or 6 classes of. And in that class, there were edit rooms, where your group would be, that would have like a Mac in there, and you'd film stuff in there and edit, do all your projects in there. The room, the 3 of us, not always together, but the 3 of us mainly gravitated towards was edit room 9. And that was like the best one everyone wanted, kind of. It was in the center of everything. It was nice. It was open.
It had the coolest kids.
And it had the coolest kids, of course. So we were going to call it Room 9 and not tell our audience why it was called Room 9, just kind of leave it as our own little thing. And then Adam, after preparing to kind of input our name and make something out of it, he discovered that we have a competitor name. We have a podcast. I don't even remember. Isn't it about some guy who like is a...
Okay, let's not disrespect him. Let's
he
not
was
say
like
anything.
He's a
No,
survivor. No. I'm not disrespecting their podcast whatsoever. I was just like, that's unfortunate because he has because it was his hospital room number, right? And he like tells stories
At his
of
rehab
it, like
center.
Room
Yeah,
9.
Adam, if you want to.
Rehab center.
Well, yeah.
okay.
So I mean, just it was instinctual when we sort of landed on this name. I was like I didn't want to. I really did not want to look it up because I've done this before where I create names for certain things, whether it's like in like a fictional world when I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. Don't talk about it, or other stuff. But I was like, Room 9. Let's see. So I googled Room 9.
It was too good to just be there for us.
We established it too quickly, and it was like this. Like, yeah, there's no way. And so I look up Room 9 and Room 9 podcast specifically, and lo and behold, I see Room 9 podcast come up. It's a man lives in the United States who is a recovering heroin addict or opioid addict, and at one of his rehabilitation centers, his room number was Room 9, and thus he named it after that. And on his podcast, he talks about dealing with addiction, his life stories, and he involves his children a lot. Which when I saw that, like, I don't even think I told you guys for like a day or two, honestly.
Yeah, no, we were still in our group chat. Yeah, Room 9, hell yeah. I even got a logo made for us.
I was like, do I burst their bubble, man?
And then Adam
It
Adam
was
told
gonna be
us
so good, man.
it was just too
Ugh.
good. It was just
It
too
was
it's
too
that-
good to be true.
and it's that
It was
interesting.
too good to become a thing.
Yeah, it's that interesting thing where it's like we can't, like, it's hard to differentiate between whether it was like objectively good or is it because like one, it was our first name that we landed on and it meant this like it had this meaning to us. Like, was that the reason why we were so just stuck on it? I remember we had this long discussion for weeks afterwards.
We couldn't move on from it.
Yeah,
Like,
we tried every sort of like mental gymnastics in the book to try to circumvent this and try to like keep that name with us. We tried, changing the name slightly, but keeping, the spirit of it there.
Yeah.
We tried. I mean, honestly, like we sometimes talked about just going forward with naming our podcast Room
And
9
just,
and just saying, you know what,
Yeah.
like consequences be damned. Let's just move forward. But eventually, we had to move on, and that came to our second period of naming, which was just like the brain shitstorm of just coming
Trying
up
to
with other
yeah,
names.
we're just coming up with names, and I remember I sent Floor 26, and do we want to get into it now? Or
Let's talk more about the build up. So I remember actually one of the ideas for our first episode, if you guys remember, was naming our podcast on our first episode.
Oh, and that didn't go
Yeah.
well.
And then we recorded it and didn't put it out.
Yeah. Well, because it was just so shitty.
It was just awful.
It was
and,
awful.
And we
It was
realized
terrible.
that we can't just replicate that conversation. Well, basically what we had done was me and Parsa had come up with lists of names, potential names for like of various like conventions and whatnot, and we were going to present them to the four of us sitting here on our first episode. And I thought that would be cute to name our podcast on our first episode, but didn't work out. So we had to come up with a name before our first episode. Yeah, there was a lot of things we ran through, and I'm not going to go through all of them right now. I'm not going to go through really any of them right now, but
because some of them were kind of mid.
some of them were very
some of them were
mid and very just cryptic, but eventually Parsa did spit out the name one day of Floor 26. Now, just general vote here. Should we explain why we named it Floor 26?
I say no.
I say no as well.
I concur.
Okay. We're just going to go with Floor 26. 26. Number has a meaning, but it's also my birthday, September 26th. When is that, Jack?
Yeah, it is Parsa's birthday tomorrow.
Yes,
I
sir.
know, I'm very
Oh
excited
my
about
God.
But yeah, and I like 6. You flip 6 upside down. What is it?
9.
that. 9 now.
It has no
Ah.
correlation, but it's just there.
Yeah.
Connections
Those are
out.
just fluff
And
things, not anywhere near the actual meaning of it,
Yep.
but just kind of cool things about it. We might explain it somewhere else. Maybe episode 100.
Parsa, I did a little Drake lyric there, but you
I
didn't
know,
catch it
I know.
No, you picked it out. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, I like how you were like, oh, when's my birthday, Jack? Because I remember your birthday, but you don't remember mine. But it's fine. I'm not mad about it.
Good, you
Whatever.
shouldn't because I don't remember.
Dude, you suck. You're
Parsa.
literally the worst person ever.
We'll ask Siri. If Siri knows, then I know. When is Jack
That's-
Casey's birthday?
Cap. She's not gonna know.
I don't know when it is, she said.
Oh my God, dude, you're.
Was that supposed to work?
I mean, if I had written
Why
it-
would that have
if
worked?
I-
If you put
if-
it, did
if-
you
if
really
I-
think you put it in your calendar?
If
No.
I had cared enough to put it on your contact.
Yeah, okay.
I did. Whatever.
Well, all right. So the next step after establishing Floor 26, what was the next real hurdle we had to get over?
Branding, logos.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I worked a lot on that end.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, we already had a logo made for Room 9, and then Adam broke it to us that, hey, Room 9 isn't gonna work. So I was like, God damn it. The guy that I bought it from isn't doing this type of work anymore. So, and I actually kind of liked his work. I kind of liked how it looked.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no big deal. And then we just struggled to like find somebody that like we liked the work of, that we could pay, and he could make us something that we would like.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid this guy. He made us one. We're like, we like the idea. Let's make a few tweaks. And then I realized, hey, we're going for YouTube here. A logo doesn't matter as much. So I found a guy to make us a YouTube banner and profile picture and stuff like that. And that was pretty much the first thing. We got that before we actually got the first like logo that we actually liked.
Yeah.
And I remember, what was it? And the guy just like, he was like, what color do you want? I was like, go crazy. And he picked out orange. And I don't know if you can tell, kind of like orange. So
It stuck. It looks good.
yeah, it actually does look good. I feel like orange is just a good color.
So yeah, so orange. I thought it was cute when you sent me the first edition of the Floor 26 logo. I was like, I like the orange, man.
No, the first version.
Oh,
of
the first version was
purple.
It was like pink and
purple.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was like
never
that.
mind.
And then we got the banner from the guy, and it was two separate guys working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that made our banner, he went with orange. And so I decided, I texted the guy that was making the logo. I was like, hey, can you change it to orange? And he gave it to us, and we made a few tweaks here and there. And we got something that we would like. with a little elevator slapped into it to go up to floor 26.
Yeah, that's another little.
And here we
symbolism.
are, and we got a website now. Got
Yeah, which you can all
everything
go
set up.
visit at floor26podcast.com. We have, I guess, when this gets released, we're gonna have an active Instagram and Twitter
Yeah.
account.
We're gonna get those.
So please go check both those out. Those can be found on those social media platforms at Floor 26 Podcast.
Yeah.
Is this episode 5 or episode 6?
6?
Yeah, I mean,
Is this 5 or 6?
this is 5. This is 5, guys. And so I guess I don't know. I guess I can mention it. I put it in the description of our last episode how this would be a big milestone in Floor 26 history. Like, I guess our first milestone, because after 5, not really, like 6-7 weeks of recording episodes and like perfecting our
trying to
art.
improve, like we said last episode. Every episode we're trying to try new things, see what sticks.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna be trying something out new for this episode with the 3 cameras, one focused on this side, one focused on Adam in the central, and we also have Jack over in Athens, so we gotta fit him in somewhere.
Yeah.
And hopefully we do make some improvements. We'll see how this one turns out, and by next week or 2 weeks from now, probably get it right.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we like.
But with this week, does mark our official sort of release of the Floor 26 podcast.
Of coming out of the closet, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. That's
Taking
a great
its
way to
first
put it.
baby steps.
Yeah.
It's been pretty low key. Only our family pretty much knows.
Yeah.
And this one we're gonna kind of push it out.
Yeah, we're trying to we wanted to learn to walk before we started running.
Yeah. And me and Adam had a lot of talks about this. When do we want to go out with it? And we've pushed this date back a lot. We were supposed to be out first week of August.
Yep. I remember you told me I think it was August 6th.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
That
'cause
was the goal.
Yeah.
And
Today is September 25th. So
Yep.
of 2020.
And October is right around the corner.
that's exciting. Okay, so thinking about podcast stuff. So now that we've sort of broken down the entire story of how we got here, why are we sitting here? I touched on it a little bit, but I guess, maybe it wasn't part of your initial wanting to get into a podcast, but I guess Parsa and Jack, both of you, why do you think both of you obviously have some interest in podcasts? Why do you think they're sort of important forms of media?
I feel like
And it could be for any reason.
why is just podcasts?
Yeah, or I mean, spoken word, I guess, just because there's something unique about sitting down at a table and talking with other people about issues and about just life in general. And I was just wondering, what kind of aspects can you pick out of that?
Jack, do you want to start or you want me to start?
Yeah, I can kind of bounce some ideas off of you if you want. I feel like podcasting overall is something. It's a type of media that, imagine a network or some kind of more sophisticated, kind of older, more solidified type of media, like I said, a TV network or a publication. It's like that, but it keeps the sophistication level, but it also is way more modern and way more accessible. Like we said, this is a video podcast, but it also goes up on however many audio platforms as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's way more reachable and way more relatable to a point. Like the goal with this one is to listeners to get our 4 opinions and kind of see what we have to say about certain topics. So it's something that people can relate to. It's entertaining. It has a way of you can do whatever you want with them. Like NPR has a billion podcasts. CNN, news organizations have podcasts, and YouTubers have podcasts, and universities. Anyone can do kind of anything with it, which is similar to YouTube. You can make a YouTube video about whatever you want. I just feel like podcasts they hold a level of sophistication that something like YouTube doesn't, and anyone can do it. And it's a really good form of media overall, I think.
I don't know. I just like listening to podcasts, it's just it's unofficial. It's not I do watch sports shows, but listening to podcasts of people around my age talking about it and having the same opinions and kind of validating what I think and the way I think, and do feel that other people think that way, and they see it how I see it.
Definitely.
And it's not some corporate media.
Yeah, there's no
you know,
control over
there's
it.
no
It's
control.
just
It's
people expressing their opinions.
Yeah, it's just a regular conversation, and who doesn't like to conversate?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's like what I was saying. You know, it's something reachable. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just something that everyone, and before obviously we had this one, I would listen to a few podcasts here and there, and it just, whenever I did, it kind of gave me a sense of like it's like a healthy feeling. Like if you have a daily podcast you listen to, it's like a good routine, and it's just like a good thing. It's a good habit, and they're entertaining, and even if they're weekly or even monthly, it's just like it's something you can always fall back on for either entertainment or hearing someone's opinion or whatever it may be.
I do. I think, I just off that point, before I could get into my reasons, like I do think that there's a certain sort of like gravity and responsibility you feel if you like watch the news or like try to tune into like more like major network shows. But with podcasts, it does feel like you can get, you know, information about the world, information about things you're interested in, and just, you know, listen to interesting people talk without feeling like, you know, you're sitting down and watching the news. You know, you're just listening to some guys on your headphones, like while you work out or something. I think there's a certain level of ease that comes with that.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And, you know, and just overall, I just feel like podcasts are just fun to watch or listen to. And, like, for example, like when Logan Paul is probably, like, one of my top favorite podcasts to watch now. And it's just because, like, they're just fun, you know, interesting, you know, they have these guests on and, you know, I don't even care about, but I'll see that if they're interviewing them, you know, it's going to be good. Yeah. And, you know, that's what we hope to have. We have a few guests lined up that we're hoping to bring on and, you know, make those fun episodes for you guys to watch. And our me and Adam's laughing for good reason.
I'm very excited for our hopefully first guest that'll be on our podcast. Very excited for that. But so I guess on a more serious note, why I think podcasts are important. So I mean, this kind of goes back to the revelation I had once Parsa asked me if we wanted to start a podcast. How I sort of looked at, especially people our age. I looked out at our like world, and I saw that you know, credible and sort of easy to absorb information was really lacking, and it was really hard to sort of communicate with each other. Mainly because, you know, I mean, I probably said this a lot too, but I have this sort of vendetta against social media, because I think it's so degrading to our, it's so degrading to, you know, to learning things and to learning from others and communicating with each other, because I don't think that those types of platforms were, you know, they weren't created with sort of human communication in mind. They don't have, and I don't think they will ever have the ability to sort of fully replicate like the human communication, you know, like face to face, you know, speech to speech. Like I think that when we put information out on social media in sort of short bursts or in pictures or in just sort of you know, catchphrases, I guess you could say, I don't think it provides a nuanced enough approach to certain issues, and I think that it ultimately, you know, brings us further apart. And so that's what, and that's one thing I've noticed is that when it comes to podcasts like the Joe Rogan podcast or other, I mean, I watch a lot of news shows on YouTube. I won't get into all of them, but you know, I get most of my information from news shows where it's just two regular people who live in different areas of the country just talking about what's going on around them and what they think about it. And, you know, they don't have any sort of inclination to appease some, you know, rich donor or shareholder. And I think, you know, that's the most pure way to receive information, at least, you know, the middle ground between just, you know, it's sort of the digital age we live in and sort of the fake communication we do on social media. And so, yeah, when Parsa approached me asking to do a podcast, I saw it as an opportunity to just try to, I don't know, produce some, to communicate better to people our age especially, and try to, you know, help them understand the issues of, help them communicate and understand the issues of our day without feeling like they, you know, need to be afraid of what they say or need to be, you know, scared of being misunderstood and stuff like that. That's my long rant, but.
And just to like, I don't know if I don't know if we've mentioned this in past episodes. Like, all four of us are completely different people. Like we all think different, and we just like we go about our days different. Like we don't
Definitely.
we don't share anything else in common for the most part,
Except for like a passion for creating things.
other than the fact that we're all here to create content.
Yeah.
And
that we're all here because one of our biggest passions is holding a camera or a microphone or whatever it may be. That's pretty much the only main similarity.
yeah, and like my passion is just having a good time. I don't know. Adam's passion is like politics, and he's a lot more serious than me. And we talked about this the first few episodes, and I think our first 2 episodes were super serious and political for the most part. And then our next 2 episodes, we toned it down a little. So we're going to have episodes that are super serious, and we're also going to have episodes that are more chill, more laid back, more fun. It's not exercising our brains as much. Like,
Right.
we're not always going to be so serious, and we're not always going to be so laid back. And either way, it's just going to be a great time.
Yeah, we're trying not to I think that good communication is birthed through having a balance in your mind, where I think if we steered to sort of any direction where like you can't force any of these sort of discussions out of people, at least like in a genuine way, where we can't be expected to talk about everything that's happened in the world every week. That would be I think that'd be too much stress on all of us.
Yeah.
But I also don't think we can force ourselves to just be happy and relaxed all the time. And so I think establishing that balance will be something that we'll figure out over the future, and we'll decide kind of what balance we have, and then we'll sort of balance that with hopefully what people want to hear from us, and we'll create a good environment.
And this is only the beginning, and we're gonna have like people to talk about, like we're gonna have the guests to talk about certain subjects. Like one guest is Adam's planning to get super political, so I'm gonna be sitting back, and one of our guests, we're just going to be interviewing him, and we're just going to have every week is going to be different. We don't plan to set us, like we don't plan to be set on one category. We want to reach as many.
We don't want to be in a box.
As
Just kind of I guess this is one thing I don't know if I've really mentioned to you guys yet, but another sort of interest of mine is sort of creating like video essays where I just sort of lay out like something like a subject that's pretty specific and applies to certain broad topics, but that I can just sort of sit down and commentate on, and that'll be something that if we ever have a vacancy where everybody can't make a show except for me who lives here on set, then I might pull out one of those. And so you can expect the content to switch around quite a lot. I mean, hell, sometimes, some episodes maybe I won't be here. Maybe I'll just let Jack and Parsa on the set while I'm gone, and they can do whatever they want.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, my mom's going to be like, why are they here?
Why do I just hear talking in the basement?
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell them that you guys are showing up.
We're just going to walk through the front door.
Yeah, going through that back door and just sit down here.
By the pool.
Yep. Yeah, that one. God, that'd be so funny. But,
and I'm just thinking about how we're going to get our first guest into this house.
My mom started listening.
She did?
Did she really?
Yeah, she listened to all 4 of our episodes at work today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was I'm surprised she actually not surprised she actually did it. I'm just it's a little weird hearing hearing her knowing that she's listening, and knowing that she's going to listen to me saying that she's going to be listening.
Yeah, and
it's very meta.
Funny story. My aunt, like my mom, I guess, sent her the link, and she was listening to it, and she calls me the next day after, and then she's like, "Hey, just one pointer. Your friends should stop cussing." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna tone that down, because we agreed on like not cussing up a storm, because we're all capable of doing it."
Well, I haven't yet, have I? I don't think I have.
I think first episode,
at least maybe in the first episode while you were here, but I don't think you did it as much. I don't think you do it as much while you're over there.
Oh, I thought I censored myself 100%. Dang.
Really?
Okay.
Well, we can look back.
Yeah,
yeah.
But also, I'm pretty sure Parsa's the worst. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
that's what I thought too.
I mean, I know.
That's what-
I mean, not bad. Just
yeah.
compared to all of us. I mean,
Yeah.
TJ does a.
TJ had that one moment a few episodes ago.
He did. He got angry, didn't he? He got a little heated.
He got heated over something.
It was the second episode. That was a hot topic. So
It was okay. Yeah, but I've been trying to keep myself, calm, cool, collected. Not cause up a storm.
When you said your aunt said that, I was like, about us or you?
I know. I was saying right. But no, I understand. I understand.
I don't think I've said anything.
See, I don't either, but I guess we all have a little.
No, because I notice a lot more when you guys say it,
Yeah, I guess that's the thing.
Because I'm watching out for myself, and then when I notice you guys, I think me and Adam have this look that when somebody like goes off cursing, and we're like, yeah,
we do kind of have that look.
We're gonna cut this.
And honestly, whenever I do it, I do. Whenever I do it, it's usually because it's out of like, it really just slips. Like either
Out of
I'm
the
talking about something
passion
really
for us,
passionate, or it's just I don't care enough to like censor myself, and I do feel bad after I do it. I do feel bad because especially when I'm editing the videos or I'm putting them on YouTube and it asks, "Is this for kids?" and I'm like, I did let one slip like for like one time in this entire 40-minute video.
Whatever you do, don't make it for kids, because then there
Don't
won't
make
be
it
a
for
comment
kids.
section.
Yeah.
I
was just
I mean,
gonna say
I was never going to, but I just
So,
sort of
like,
think about that.
It's just that check on you.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say.
Don't
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah, don't swear. And then I was gonna say, like, we haven't actually showed this to anybody besides like our family. And I know I brought this to you guys a few weeks ago, but after our second episode, we did have someone comment on our first 2 episodes. Just a random person on YouTube, gave detailed comments on our first 2 episodes, which baffled me. It absolutely baffled me because I didn't know how it reached that. Just a random person.
We had 3 subscribers. Like I don't even know how you find
and
that.
this guy listened to our first 2 episodes the entire way through. Like our second episode, sure, but our first episode, listened to all the
Yeah.
way through. Like, dang,
Yeah.
that was a bad. That was
That's
it was an.
That's a fan. Hit us up. We're about to send you a sticker.
Honestly, I mean, I just it was definitely something that kind of warmed my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Hearing him engage with us, but yeah, hopefully that'll continue. But
Yeah, just to get this out the way. Love you, Auntie. just so she doesn't give me a call.
Mom, if you're listening, I love you, and
We're
I promise.
watching our mouth.
I promise. I'm going to be as best as I can. Jack, would you like to say anything to your parents?
Hey guys, I love you just like Adam loves his parents. If I swore, I don't think I did, but if I did, I'm sorry. Thanks for listening. Okay,
Oh boy,
pretty much it. That's all I got.
that was some kid stuff right there.
Lakers in 5 or Lakers in 6? Jack?
I'm sticking with what I said originally in Lakers in 6, and this is why. I know it's the Lakers and I know it's LeBron, but it's also the Nuggets who have also already won 2 3-1 down lead.
See, that's how I know he's a fake athlete. A real athlete knows what it does to you to play professional basketball for 45 minutes every other night for what? They have 14 games, and what's 14 plus 5?
19.
19. Are they going into their 20th game? No, wait. Yeah, they're going into their 19th game. Jamal Murray's played a
Parsa,
lot of
I'm
minutes.
I'm gonna pretend you did not just ask me what 14 plus 5 was.
Dog.
Second,
Okay. How bad am I at math? Pretty bad. Like it's the
Okay,
simple math too.
but- But I understand that the Nuggets are tired. I am completely on board with that. But I said the Lakers were going to win. I didn't say the Nuggets were going to win a best-of-7 series. I agree they're tired, but I also say that they have good luck and good play. They've won 2 full series, 2 best-of-7 series where they were down 3-1. So they're going to put up a fight when they're down 3-1. They're going to be like, we've done this before, we'll do it again. So
yeah, and I'm not
they're tired, and
I'm
I
not
agree with you.
questioning anything. I'm just saying that like physically, I just don't think they're gonna be able to take it. And I think it's gonna be
you called me
Lakers
a
in
fake
5.
athlete, so I had to defend myself.
Okay, yeah, you don't know about fatigue, son. You don't know. Adam, you remember when I used to get up like first block and my knees would stop working?
Yep.
And I'd have to sit back down?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what you think is going to happen
That's
to
what
the
a
Nuggets?
real athlete goes through, Jack.
Yeah, no, that happened to you because you probably had to run extra laps because you were digging off during practice.
I don't cuss. What do we do?
No, Jack.
Jack's getting heated.
You're
now.
gaslighting him a little bit. You're making him a little angry.
See, Moss and Garcia, the JV coach, probably had you run some extra laps because
What
Parsa
JV coach,
couldn't
son?
Oh,
Parsa couldn't
man.
make that goal.
Nah, I just have 2 torn meniscuses. That's why.
Imagine playing 1 varsity sport when you could have played 3. That's so crazy.
Oh, dude.
Anyway,
If you guys were in the same room together,
I'm a
I'd
fake
be
athlete
stepping
though,
back.
right? I'm
water
totally
polo
a fake
doesn't
athlete.
count. Lacrosse most
I have a
definitely
ring.
not a sport.
I have a ring. I practice 3 times a week.
I got 1
Games-
varsity letter in ultimate frisbee, so y'all can suck.
Parsa, if you
Oh,
got in
no.
a pool and tried playing water polo, you would drown.
You're right.
Literally.
Swimming just isn't for me. And I'm so confused on how like all the swimmers are supposed to be ripped. We've been over this, Adam. Why
Yeah.
aren't you ripped,
Okay,
Jack?
Oh, I thought you were looking at me. I was like, no.
you haven't seen me recently. I've actually been going to the gym. I look kind of nice. I'm not going to hype myself up. But anyway, we still got a ring in the pool. Wrestling kids in Speedos, Parsa.
That's
I got
fair.
a ring doing that.
Did you get a ring, Parsa?
Yeah, you got a ring on the Wheeler soccer team? I didn't think so.
No, we didn't make playoffs 2 times in a row.
It wasn't because of you. It was because your team was bad.
Oh yeah, I was.
No,
part of
I
it,
agree.
but, like,
Yeah, the team
I mean, we
Parsa's
just-
hot.
damn man, if I didn't get cut sophomore year,
I
I would have had a playoff shirt. And I remember
Parsa,
I
you're
was
making it
so
worse for
mad.
yourself.
I was
You're making it
so
worse for
no.
yourself.
I don't care, man. It was years ago.
Yeah, that was
But-
3 years ago.
But I remember I was so mad because junior year we were 1 goal off of making playoffs, and I never got a playoff shirt. And I knew senior year wasn't gonna happen.
Oh, it was like your last chance to get in
I
there.
just wanted my name on a shirt,
I'm
man.
sorry, buddy.
I don't know why I love everything with my name on it.
It's a good last name.
No, not even that. Like I keep all my old debit cards.
Interesting.
Like I keep all my old IDs. Like I just it gives
I
me
do
a type
too.
of
I'm the same
feeling.
way.
It gives me a type of feeling knowing that that's my name on that thing.
Like you're a person and you have like these things that
Yeah,
identify you.
I have an identification card.
But honestly, your
And
last
it-
name's kind of dope to like people. Like probably not like you think it's normal, but to other people it's kind of dope.
I mean, I don't think it's normal, man.
Yo,
I wish
you-
I was like Parsa Jones.
Parsa
is there many? Is
Jones?
there many Iranians named Jones?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah, they got some weird last names there, man.
I'm sure. Sure.
Like not even like written, but like you read it and you
Oh.
understand it in Farsi, and you're like, what the hell does that mean?
you can't even write it in English, really.
Like-
It would just be consonants.
I mean, yeah, you can write it in English. God damn it, Adam, you're so uncultured, man. Let's end off this episode. Do we got anything else we got to talk about?
We talked about our roadmap, Jack. Anything else?
Not really. We established I'm not a fake athlete. I'm still saying Lakers in 6. That's all. I've said my piece.
Okay. Thank you for that,
I don't
Parsa.
have- I don't have much else to say.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this monumentous episode 5 of the Floor 26 podcast. I hope you all have a wonderful day.